Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ads Clinic, how to navigate Facebook Ads Manager like a pro. Thanks for everyone for joining. So what we're going to be looking over today is actually going into Ads Manager because it is a nightmare. It's changing all the time. And the thing I hear more than often than anything else is, why is everything changing? And how do I get a bloody ad running? So as you can see here, I put on here the understanding how to build a bloody ad because it is like that. And myself and my team, we say the same thing pretty much daily. So I thought, rather than me just showing you slides of what to do, I think we need to delve into it and actually go through understanding Ads Manager and going through what I do to build an ad because it's not actually as hard as you think it might be. So let's crack on. I'm now going to share my screen. You're going to tell me, oh, by the way, you can see you're sitting in a clinic here because it's the ad clinic. So everything's very medical, should I say. So let's kick on. I can introduce myself. So here we are, and we've gone over that bit. So let's click through to the next one. Right. So basically about me. So I own a company called an agency called Let's Run Social, and we've been going for a number of years now. And these are some of the clients we specialize in. So enterprise cars, we've got Verizon, some big names there, Quartix, Holland and Barrett. So we're not just we know what we're doing. These clients have worked for a long, long time and are still working with us, which is great. But you're probably thinking, well, why are you sitting in a clinic and why are you an ads doctor? So let me explain. So the ads clinic came from me being asked from talks, from my podcast, etc. Can I help people with ads? And you know what? It's really good fun helping small businesses with their ads because it's so, in a way, easy to get right. Well, that I wanted to train people through things like this and my ads clinic and my podcast and my 30-minute calls and my consultancy just to help smaller business because there are so many of you struggling with going forward and getting it right. So you can see here that I've got Let's Run Facebook Ads podcast, about 100,000 listeners to that. It's been going about 3 years. And that's actually how the Ads Clinic started because I just have a little ad on there saying, hey, if you're having problems with your ads and need help fixing it, go to theadsclinic.com and book a call with me. It's a 30-minute call. And then people sign up to my consultancy where you have one myself and my team helping you with your ads. And then we've got the Ads Clinic community, which is just underneath. This is completely brand new. So you guys listening to this, we'll share the details of where to go to join this. It's completely free. And here you'll have how-to lessons. You'll have obviously a welcome to the Ads Clinic and see some testimonials of my current clients, how-to lessons to setting up all different manners of things from whole ads to different areas of ads. And then we'll be bringing in like some of my podcast episodes that are filmed. And there's going to be a calendar here to other events. We have a leaderboard, etc., etc. So it's a great free community where you're going to get loads and loads of value. So let's get into it. So just a bit of an overview in case any of you don't really know what Meta or Facebook is about. During the first quarter of 2024, the number of daily active users on Facebook reached just over 2 billion. It's a lot of people. And I know that we all hear TikTok's massive and all this lot, but from an advertising point of view, this is where it's at. It is still leading. Google's even getting a bit scared of what's going on. I know they've both been around for a long time, but Google are finding that more people are spending their time on social and searching through social than actually searching on Google now. So Google's really making a difference. And my clients who do Google, it's not, we don't do Google, but clients are moaning about the costs of it, how it's changing, how they're trying to find it hard to keep on top, and how our AI is taking over. So now it's not just about the highest bids to get to the top of the sponsored adverts. AI is figuring out who should be at the top as well. So that's great. It's great. It's just not great for people with loads of money who dominate. So out of the total estimated UK population of 68 million, approximately 44 million people are active on Facebook. That's 66% of the total UK population. The audience diversity, Facebook's user base spans all age groups, genders, and interests, which is brilliant. Yes, 28 million people here in the UK that we can get in front of. And user touch points, regular use by millions of creates repeated exposure opportunities, and 70% of Facebook users visit frequently. Okay, so it's the place to be if you want to get new clients out there. You're selling e-com, so you're selling products over your website, or you've got services, whatever it might be. It's all out there. It comes down to really not even how obviously you've got to build your ads right, but it comes down to the offer. It comes down to the offer of your products or your services. If you've got a really, really good offer that people find it hard not to take, that's how you win. What too many people do is go, I've got a business, I'm just gonna tell people about it, and they wonder why nothing really comes through. Just click back on here. So advanced testing capabilities. So targeting criteria, demographics, we just mentioned age, gender, relationship status, and education. Interest, hobbies, favorite bands, online behaviors. Now, a lot of this is still true. The first one, age, gender, relationship status, and education, they're all there. But these hobbies and favorite bands, what we call the interests, this is diminishing. And it's kind of different ads managers that you might sit in or build your ads. Everyone's got different ones. And the reason everyone's got different ones is because people get different changes at different times. So Facebook doesn't do update and then just put it into everyone's ads manager. It drip feeds it out. And the reason you might see some things before anyone else does as well is because Facebook's going through a testing, and it might have tested using you as one of hundreds of thousands of people who are testing a feature. You see it, but no one else sees it. And then we see these roll out. But interest and things like that are changing. As I said, AI is coming into the platform more and more. The computer is extremely advanced. It's your content now which is leading to your audience rather than your audience. So you basically, you can't have a crap ad to a really good audience. You now need to have a really good ad to a bad audience, or to an audience of everyone, a broad audience. So your content is what is leading. Okay, so we can also use custom audiences to retarget. So website visitors, email list members, people who've been to certain pages of your website, and then we can create lookalikes and things based upon that. And then geo-targeting, so we can actually go right down into small areas around your business. So one of the stats I'm going to show you in a couple of slides time is a company in Portland. I've actually just been on call with them in the US, and they just go to a 50-mile radius, but they're getting amazing results. So I want to, just before we jump into it, just to prove that I know what I'm doing and Facebook knows what it's doing and it can actually get you business, I wanted to sort of just give you a couple of examples. So this is a wedding company, actually quite local to me as well, actually, out of potluck. They didn't come to us because they were local. They just found us as normal. And they have a number of videos, really nice videos. Obviously, they're videographers and photographers, so you can imagine their creator is amazing. And they've got some amazing results. So in November, they spent £788. And this is just people seeing their ad, clicking the Learn More button or Book Now button, and going through to their sign-up page on their website. It's not even its own individual landing page. It's actually a contact us pay form on their website. 26 leads led to 16 discovery calls. 6 of those booked into sales, obviously 3,000 sales, and they generated 18,000 in revenue. Unbelievable. Yeah, really, really good results. And then we've got the one I was just talking about. This here is actually a video made by AI, both sides of AI. And you can see how what we've done here is we've put the subtitles over not completely over his face, and it kind of moves around, but it's around that area of his neck so that it takes you away. Because one of the things I've noticed with AI creative like this with video is that it can look like it's a bit fake or the mouth's not working properly. But if we take, by having 2 videos here, by having your eyes drawn away from what this guy is actually saying and his movements, and you're listening or reading what the text is, but there's a lot going on in the video, it's actually working really, really well. You can see this gentleman here, not him, but our client, has been here for 6 weeks. And you can see the first week, 2 weeks, spending 2,000 a week. You can see the leads that came in, how many discovery calls they had. So the same sort of setup, lead gen call for lead gen. First month booked 5 leads revenue, 5 sales, 3,000 revenue. Second week, 14 at 8,500. Dropped down a bit. And the third week, we were actually doing a bit of doing stuff with the landing pages and things like that because we're going through our learnings. But he did 7.5, then 5, then 9, then 13. So you can see how this is just getting better. You can see the CTR, which is the click-through rate, has gone from 0.86 up to 1.79. Facebook's learning. We're optimizing the ads. We're just doing different things to make this work. And you can see it's completely working brilliantly. So let's get on to the next bit. Let's build an ad. So that's what you're here for. That only took a couple of minutes. So let me just get out of this view, and let's go into Ads Manager to build an ad. So Ads Manager, as you all know it, this is how you'll see it. On this video, we're not going to go into all these things, but if you go into how to set up your columns so you can see the metrics properly, is actually in my course. The first two videos that you'll come across is how to set it up for lead gen and how to set your columns up for e-commerce. So after you've got that link, join into the community and you can start looking at those videos, and then I'll be like throwing videos in every week, so you can get more and more content. But let's start with this. So we have three columns here. We have campaigns, we have ad sets, and we have ads. Campaigns is where we're going to set up the campaign. Ad sets is where we basically build the audience and where we're wanting to show the ad to. And ads is where we build the ad. Okay. So big green button here is the most important one. Now, this is the make or break of your Facebook advertising. Choosing the wrong one will make your ads fail. You'll not get any sales from it. Nothing will happen apart from vanity metrics, which is it reached this many people, you got this many impressions, and this many people clicked your ad. But you'll go, that's all great. I've had 5,000 people click the ad today or this week, and no one's purchased and no one's booked a call. That is because these aren't for you to use. I don't want you using, well, forget about app unless you've got an app. It's different podcast, or different call altogether. I want you to use this one if you're e-commerce, and I want to use this one if you're doing lead gen. That is it. No more. Don't use any of these. There'll be reasons why and when to use these, but otherwise, that one or this one. If you could even close off this call now. Carry on with what you were doing. Just make sure you're on these, right? So we're going to concentrate on a bit of lead gen today. Okay, so we're going to do this. Now, this works for instant forms, Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, conversions, and calls. Now, unless you need to, I wouldn't bother with this one. This one is just like taking to another level. You have to have more third parties to create messages. To do it all properly, it's another thing altogether. But to keep this nice and simple, instant forms, that is a Facebook form. So when someone sees your ad and clicks learn more, they're not clicking away from the ad. They are opening a form on Facebook, and it's not leaving Facebook. Form on Facebook, automated, fill in the details. You can get higher intent questions to make sure you know how much you're looking to spend on your garden, blah, blah, blah. And that is an instant form. Conversions, that's when you're sending someone out of platform and they go to a landing page. And when they go to that landing page, they can fill in the form and then they'll get the conversion. So that's how you get lead that way. Now, the difference of the two is conversions was something that we used to do, and then we stopped doing it because Apple wasn't giving us much tracking capabilities. So it all messed up a bit. That's better now. We then moved to instant forms, but now I'm finding the platform is covered in bots, and a lot of my clients are moaning about the quality. So if I was to give you any advice now, I'd spend a bit more time creating a landing page, or worst comes to worst, have something on your page, on your website with contact us page. We need to set it up with events properly. Again, it's a different call, but these are the two I would use, and I'll go with conversions. So we've chosen leads. We don't have to click on that. We're just going to click continue. Basically, if I don't tell you to do something on here and you watch this video back and you're questioning it, just stick to what I say. If I'm ignoring something, we're ignoring it for a reason. We don't need to use it. Okay, we're going to keep this nice and simple for you to get on there, create and get money and sell. Tailor lead campaign. You can do that, but we're going to stick to this one. This goes into best practice with Meta. I don't agree with Meta's best practices at this moment in time. I have done, I do on some, but overall, Facebook's trying to make it easier for advertisers like you to not make mistakes. But the things that it puts in place, I don't agree with, so you'd have to change them. So that's why we're going to go for a manual leads campaign. We're going to click continue. Now, because this is going to work for you going forward, you want to make sure that you're labeling your ads correctly. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a load of ads and campaigns that you don't have no idea what they're about. I go on to plenty of accounts where the client is like, I don't even know what's going on here because they haven't named things. So if it's top of funnel, we're going to call it a TOF, which is we've got top of funnel, we've got middle of funnel, we've got bottom of funnel. TOF is going out to cold people, middle of funnel is retargeting, and bottom of funnel is really retargeting. You don't need all three necessarily. You just need, if you're going to do it, happy with just doing a top of funnel to go and find new potential customers. And then the middle of funnel or bottom, doesn't matter, you could even call it retargeting, is retargeting people who've been to your website or landing page. Okay, so top of funnel. And then we're going to do a lead gen, but we're going to go to landing page. So we're going to call it lead gen. And then we're going to go landing page. Okay. So you could even do a topic. If you've got multiple things, you could just do topics or anything like that. So it's just understanding what your campaign actually is about. Okay. So we go down here, unless you're in housing, financial products or anything like that. So if you're selling houses or you're to do with jobs or you've got some financial products, you don't have to worry about that. So you can do it. Don't need to categorize your ads either. Okay. Buying type, you can see here we've got a leads campaign that's automatically defaulted because of what we chose. We don't need to worry about anything else. The only one you do need to worry about is this one, advanced campaign budget. Now, if you follow my cursor, we've got an ad set and we've got a campaign, okay? This is basically saying, where do we want the budget? Do we want the budget in the ad set, in which case that budget will control this ad, or do we want it in the campaign? Now, I like to have it in the ads budget, in the ad set, because if we create by just simply duplicating an ad set, we might want to go to the same audience and then have two different ads. It means we can have a budget on this one of £10 a day, and we can have a budget on this one of £10 a day. If we were to put the budget on the top at, say, £20 a day, that £20 would be split between the two, but it wouldn't be equally. It'd be where Facebook thinks it should spend the money. Now, you might think, well, that's a no-brainer. Now, that is fine. That is a no-brainer if you're happy for it to make its decisions on its own. I like to have it here because I sometimes don't believe Facebook's going to get it right. And I want to do an actual true comparison that this one actually got these results, this one has got these results. I'll turn off this ad and I'll put another £10 into this one. I like to just always be testing, but that is essentially how that works. So if you're going to do it on the ad set, you can change the budget in the ad set area. And if you want to do it as a whole, so you're letting Facebook control the whole thing, you can do it here. Toggle on daily budget. We looked at 20 quid. And that's now controlling these two ad sets underneath. Okay. So let's just leave it there for now. Right. I'm going to delete that one because I don't want to confuse things on how we build an ad. So we're back to where we were. We've got our landing page and we've got our new lead set ad. Okay, so if we were to be on the first page, I'm ignoring the next because I'm going through this differently, aren't I? So $20 a day, campaign bid strategy, highest volume, don't touch anything else. Let's give you an estimate that your maximum spend will be £35 and your maximum weekly will be 140. Now, if Facebook thinks, this is where you just need to be a little bit careful with your budget. If you are strict with 20 quid a day, I would do 15 because it's now even saying 26. It's basically saying if your campaign is working well, and if we're getting good quality leads coming through or sales on your e-commerce website, are you happy if we will spend, if we need to, up to £26 a day? So you need to be kind of good with your budget. Now, it will usually average out by the end of a week, but some days will be more expensive than others. Budget scheduling, don't worry about this. I want you to forget about that. Ad scheduling, I don't want you to worry about that. Okay, just don't even leave them. Okay, A/B test. This is if you want to test like out one creative compared to one, compared to another. Absolutely fine for you to do this, but you know how I just had that set up and I duplicated this, and you had two different ads. It's essentially the same as doing an A/B test. So that's our first page. Let's go through to next. So this is where we're going to set up our audience and placements. Okay, can't even spell. So audience and placements is going to be set up in this area. So you can see a few things here now. It's already set up on instant forms, right? I'm going to be drinking just as we go through this, talking too much. Instant forms. This is because Facebook wants to take control of your ads and it wants to promote keeping people onto Facebook. But as I've said, the quality is not great. We're not seeing good quality come through. We're seeing lots of bots. So we said at the beginning of this call that we're going to go to website. So website essentially means your website, your landing page, basically the destination you're going to send people to. Okay. You got websites and calls. Never found much come from calls really. It doesn't really happen. We've got Messenger. can work, definitely. You just need to have other things set up for that messenger to work properly. Instagram, same as Messenger. WhatsApp, same as those two. Calls on their own or app. This is different because if we're doing app installs, we would have done this one. Right, so we're going to stick to website. Maximize the number of conversions, absolutely. Now, we have other things in here, but I don't want you to touch these. Maximize value of conversions, don't really use it. And then we've got landing page, link clicks, reach, impressions. If you were to change this to landing page or link clicks, it would basically be doing a traffic campaign. We don't ever want to be doing a traffic campaign. And if you change it to these two, it would change to awareness, and we don't want to be doing an awareness campaign. So we want to stick to number of conversions. Data set. Now, this is your pixel. You do need to get your pixel set up on your website. You need to get your pixel set up on your website. So it's in an area just down here, all tools, events manager, follow the instructions. There will be a video being made to go into our course, but events manager, and it will show you how to follow the instructions on how to put a bit of pixel code on the header area of your website. And then that will happen. After it's optimized, it'll pick up on here. And then, so that's our pixel that's on my Ad Connect website. And then conversion, I want to go for a lead. And again, it has all the different things you can do. But again, what we're doing, we're going for leads. So we're going to optimize for a lead. It essentially means that after you've put the pixel onto your website, and then on your form, you can put a bit of lead event code, I'll show you how to, on one of my videos, I'll show you how you can put a lead event on the button. So when someone clicks the button, it activates as a lead. That's basically what this is saying. Is in order, it's saying, we're going to send people to your website where it's activating on the pixel, and then we're going to make someone click that lead form and submit it. That is what a lead's going to be. Show more options. You don't need to. Cost per result goal, don't do it. You don't at the moment know what your cost per result is going to be. So if you go, well, I want my cost per result to be £2, but Facebook says in its algorithm, you're more likely to be 35 quid, you're not going to get any leads. So this is something that is very advanced, and we still use this 0.5% of the time. Okay, so you don't need to do this. Dynamic creative. Now, this is important because dynamic creative is where we can split the types of creative we're going to do in the ad. But some of you might go, oh, my dynamic creative says this is leaving soon. And on some of your ads managers, this will also say, well, it's disappeared, it's gone. So they are getting rid of dynamic creative, but we're going to keep it on at the moment. Now, when you see this on, it's actually going to, in the ad, will change to flexible. So I'm just going to click through to something else here. You see, it will, down in this area, it will say flexible. Okay, so I'm just going to see what happens if I turn, because this is all new to me as well. So not building ads, but just the way the platform is changing. I'm going to turn that off and go to here. Does it say flexible? No. So this account is running quite aged, okay, compared to some of you. So flexible will pop up here. So it's giving me I'm allowed to use dynamic. So for the purposes of this, showing you what we want to do, we're going to keep dynamic on, but you might see flexible. Okay. I'm going to go down here, budget. You can see this is where if we were putting our budget on the audience level, we would have put it in here, but we're not. We're putting it on the landing page on the campaign level. And it says here, you've set daily advantage campaign budget for £15. It's up here. Okay. So we don't have to do that. End date. Yeah, use that. If you're doing an event or whatever, or it runs out, put your event date in. Nice and simple. These bits here, ad spending limits, we don't need to. That's more advanced stuff. You don't need to do that to run a simple ad. Right, we've got our audience controls. Audience controls is basically, this is the new setup, and I'm going to explain both because it depends on how you want to run your ads. Right, so we've got a look at location. Now, if we wanted to, we could just change this and go to a radius. Okay, so you can drop a pin, or you could put in London, England, there you go, and now it's changed. Okay, so, and you can pull this in and out, depends what you want to do, right? So that's how you do location, nice and simple. You can do that all over the world. And then reach more people likely to respond to your ads. This is if people are going to be taken out. So we'll show ads to people interested in your selection, cities and regions in those countries, if it falls out of the other criteria. I like to keep this up. I like just to keep everything how I want it to be kept. Right. Audience, Advantage Plus. Advantage Plus stops us from doing a few things. Like you're probably thinking, well, where are the other things? It doesn't look like you did. That's when we go switch back to original audience options. I'm going to show you that in a second. Looks kind of the same, but just so you understand where things have changed. So in here, custom audience, that's when we're going to do retargeting. So we could put in here lookalike for a cold, or custom audience. We could go to audience, ad clinic website, 90 days, viewed 3 seconds of our videos, website visitors 60 days, all this sort of stuff. Okay. So that's what we do there. Now a lookalike is where we can actually say, right, as clinic website visitors, I want to build a lookalike out of that. Now that's another video again. If you wanted to look into that, if you go down to the side here, you can see audiences. That's where you can basically, to build a lookalike, you have to have a custom audience first, i.e. add clinic 90 days. And then it will say to you when you build an audience, after you've built it, it will say, would you like to make this into a lookalike audience? And there you go. You could just say, yes, I would. And you build a lookalike. A lookalike is the people who look like the people who've gone onto your website for 90 days. Now, a lot of people class that as a retargeting, and it's quite a common mistake. A lookalike isn't retargeting. Everyone in your lookalike audience after it's been created, no one has been to your website. No one knows who you are still. It's basically just using the algorithm to figure out, based on the data points of website visitors, or if you're using people who leads, or you're doing purchases or whatever, that key audience, custom audience, it's a lookalike of who Meta thinks is like that. That's it. So it's still cold. They've not seen it. So don't get confused with it being retargeting. So anyway, that's how you custom audiences. Age, change your age. Genders, change your genders. And then you've got your demographics here. Now you can either browse and go through different types of demographics or interests, or the most common one is here, we type something in. So if we were to go marketing, it will bring up marketing. Now this is new. So this has already changed, right? So marketing would have come up with loads of different things to do with marketing. Kind of like this, but more specific. So we've got marketing as business like this. Now, if we click suggestions, again, it's coming up here. So coming up with relevance, digital marketing, or we can go with size if we want to get a really broad audience. So Facebook, anyone's in social media, business, etc. So you might see that when you type in here, you might go a lot more niche, and that does happen. But you can see that I've already had an update on my account and it's not sitting like that. Right. So you might also want to see it from use original audience. So that's our Advantage Plus one we've just built. We can go to original audience here, which changes just the way we see things. You can see it's all stuck in there. Now let's just see if suggestions are still the same. So no matter which way we do it, this is all staying the same. So we could building people in marketing, but we might want to define it further. So everyone in marketing, but I want to get to anyone who's in social media. So let's see if that brings anything up. So social media, social network, social media online. So we need a big audience, social media, online media. So that one's a good one. And then we can look at anything is it suggesting Instagram, social media marketing, perfect. And then online advertising. So I've now said, I want people in marketing and digital marketing, but they also have an interest in social media and online advertising. And that's brought my audience down to 2.5 million, which is fine. That's a good size audience for Meta advertising. If that said 250,000, it would be way too small. And you'll notice that when you do some of these audiences, if you move away from interests, let's get rid of that, like behaviors, that's when you'll start seeing smaller audience sizes. I know that says it's huge there, but if I add that, let's add that slightly differently. So let's take that one out and let's put another define. So define further, and let's do advertising. But let's do fields of study, not many there. So or advertising there, job titles, advertising job titles. If I click that, probably find, there you go. Look, it's now gone to below 1,000. So you need to, as you're loading this up, what we call a stack, you actually need to pay attention to the audience. You need to stay in the millions. Okay, take that out, back in the millions. So languages, it's always in English. They know we're in the UK, so I wouldn't worry about that. We used to put in English, but we don't anymore. Now you can save the audience if you want to. So we could say marketing audience. And then when you're building another ad, you can just go to your audiences and you've got a saved audience rather than you having to remember what you put in. Placements. Now, the placements here, I always like to keep an advantage plus placements. Basically, that means every placement that Meta has. But then you've got manual placements. So that's how you split it down. So this is Facebook, Instagram, audience network, and messenger. And in here, we've got all the different types. We can click into feeds and then we're seeing all the different places. This is basically everywhere that Meta is going to show your ad. Now, I like to keep all this on unless I'm just doing a real ad because I might have a 16:9 vertical. And if that hasn't been optimized for square, and what I mean by that is if you've got a vertical is obviously larger, higher than a square. Now, if your text is higher than the square, it's going to get cut off when you see it. And I'll show you what I mean by that. And this is something that you need to really pay attention to, otherwise your ads generally look pretty crap. So I'm going to keep it all on because that's what my standard is. We're going to go to advanced placements. And that is now our audience page created. See, it's nice and simple, isn't it? Just takes a little bit of time. Right. Now here, we've done dynamic creative. So I like to name this DC for dynamic creative. And I'll show you what dynamic creative does because it allows us to bring in multiple creatives in the same ad. So Facebook page, Instagram, if you set this up properly, that will automatically pull these two through. Manual upload, single image or video. Carousel, if you want to do a carousel, literally do that. And you can select your images. Let's just show you. So let's say, choose that one. So because this hasn't come out like a normal carousel, and that's because I've got dynamic creative switched on. So if I switch off dynamic creative now, my audience will stay the same. I go back in here. And now my carousel, if I choose it, will look how it's supposed to look, like a carousel feed. So carousel card, add an image card. We're going to have that one there. And there we go. We can put a headline on it. So it sits at the bottom of the carousel. Now you're thinking, well, why is that form on Facebook here when we chose just to do it to a website? It's a great question. Another thing that Facebook is really crap at, it automatically chooses instant form, even though we chose we want to go to a website. So let's click on none there. And we've got our preview. So turn on preview, we'll start seeing things as they come through. So there's our offer. Sorry, our image. We can write a short headline in there where we want it to go. Add another card here. Let's add that one in. And now, because we've got two cards in there, we can see our carousel being created. Okay, so as it's being created, we can see our ad preview and we can put everything in. Now, I'm going to go back to normal single image. And we're going to go back to dynamic creative because this is the best way to build an ad. So we can have multiple. Because the reason I'm doing like this, you don't know which image or video is going to work. So dynamic creative or flexible allows us to put in multiple, and then Facebook is able to see and optimize with which one's first. And I'll show you. So you can see we've brought that one in. You can see we're back down here. We're back on single image. And we're now going to choose a few different ones. And you can see them all popping up at the bottom. So let's do 3 images. Perfect, we brought them in, and let's bring a couple of videos in. 1, 2, 3. So there we go, we've got 3 videos. Optimize for each person. We're going to turn that off because I don't want Facebook again to have control. We need Facebook. We need our ads to sit and show how we want them to. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean by this cutoff. So if we go to advanced preview, you'll see how these videos here are my vertical videos, right? So that's a full video, okay? But this here you can see is the cutoff.
The 20% is done incorrectly is actually the most important part.
Now, so we've built this.
What is the ads team? The ads clinic is...
We've built this because we know my head's going to be cut off, but our writing is inside the square, opposed down here, okay? So that's what we've done on purpose, so that it fits. It fits in.
The 20% is done incorrectly is actually the most important part.
Now, if you'd built this as a vertical,
what is the ads team? Yeah.
if you built that as a vertical and then your text was down at the bottom, because you're thinking, well, I want to keep myself in here, I want the text down here, it would get cut off in a square. Basically, how these two are sitting next to each other is exactly how it would work on your screen. So that's a vertical phone. This is the same size, it's a phone, but you can see how this one is only in a square-ish, and this one is vertical. And you can see in these ones, it's all smaller. So what you need to try and do is make it so that when your vertical becomes square, everything fits in nicely. Make sense? I hope. So we've got all of our ones in here, and now we come down to our text. So very simply, you want to go with a nice hook or headline. So, hey, are you struggling? We're gonna have to forget about my handwriting. Struggling with ads manager. That's our dog whistle copy. That's our hook. We are calling out to people who see this and go, hey, are you struggling with ads manager? And we can go, don't worry. The doctor's here to help. You're thinking, oh God, doctor's here to help. Yeah, you're starting to get an idea of my personality, stupidity. So don't worry, doctor's here to help. And we could go, join me now, book on to our free 30-minute in ad call. There we go. We've got a text here. We want people to click see more, so don't worry, the dog will help. And we want see more there. We want them to click that to see that, because that means someone's now engaged with our ad, and Facebook will pick up on the clicks. And then short headline, free 30-min ads, 30-minute Facebook. Can't actually use the word Facebook, so we have to sort of use FB. Facebook ad call. God, keep on messing up. Right, ads call. Okay, so you can see it's now 30-minute ads call. You can see it's all built, and we've got our description here is now pulled from our website, specializing will fix it. There we go. See, so we've created our ad. Now, what you want to do is do multiple. Now, I would do 6 video, 3 video, 3 static, followed by, you can add in some more here where I'll do some different types of text. I'll probably do 2 text and 2 headlines. Okay, nice and easy. And then you've given Facebook a good amount of criteria or creative copy text to try and push things out to different people and make it all slightly different. You've got some AI that's popped up here. So feeling overwhelmed with your ads manager, let's chat about it. It's quite good. Tick it. Book a free 30-minute call with our doctor to help troubleshoot your and optimize your ads. That's good, but we're in England, so let's change that for a minute. Back to an S. Need help with your ads manager? Book a 30. So these are all pretty cool. And then it's the same with this. So we could close that down. So we can close that down because we've actually used the AI one. Diagnose your ad woes, ads manager woes, doc's got the cure. Brilliant. So it's picking up on what I've put in there. I don't really like the ad woes. It's not really, so we generate some more, see what comes up. Ads manager, just prescription for ad success. It's quite good. Sits in line with the ads clinic. Okay, so done that. We'll fix it as our description. We've got our URL. That would need to go to the ads clinic, obviously. So, but we'll send it to Let's Run Social for the time being, just because you know what a URL is and you know what you're doing. Display link. This is just here, so it's saying Let's Run Social. So we could say the ads clinic there. I think that's to say .com, doesn't it? .com. So you don't actually have to have the real one, but Meta's saying it needs to actually be an actual URL. There we go. And now that should come up with the ads clinic on the screen. Go to the top. There we go, the adsclinic.com. And then our pixel tracking, well, we've got to learn more here. So I would have book now or sign up. And because we're using dynamic creative, we actually put different options in. I'm not sure that flexible allows you to do that. I think flexible just allows you to put in everything above here. So you can put all this in, you can put all this in. I don't think it utilizes different call to actions. So book now, website events, that might be ticked off. Once, when I talk about the pixel, if you've got your pixel on your website and it's linked into your ads manager, you need to tick this on. This is basically saying, I want you to build up the intelligence. Everything that happens in this ad, I want you to build the intelligence up on this particular pixel. And that is it. Publish at the bottom here, publish. And then you can literally publish your ad and you are ready to go with Ads Manager. And then you go onto my free community where you can watch the videos on how to set these up so that you actually get the right columns for lead gen. I hope that helps. And thank you very much for joining again. So we'll send an email out to all of you now saying we'll do a recording of the actual, will we do? I'll have to just check with my team. There'll be a recording coming on email, or we'll put the recording into the free community, our school ads clinic school community. But go there, love you to join, love to see you all start registering. Again, it's absolutely free. And all I'm going to be doing is putting knowledge in there like this to help you guys with your marketing. I hope that helps. And thank you for joining. Take care. Have a good day. Oh, and have a good Christmas. Bye-bye.